Today I'm going to take you shopping with me and show you heaps of the foods that I buy on a weekly basis. I'm going to show you the best foods to buy for your gut health that are going to support your microbiome, help to repair your gut lining, reduce your symptoms, and just eat in a simple, nutrient-dense way that is going to improve your overall health. Even if you don't have gut issues, your gut is central to your overall health, and these foods can have so many healing properties. So let's go grab some stuff, and then I'll come back and I'll take you through why I use them all. Right, grabbing some eggs. Went for the ones that have the least hens per hectare. Berries. I've been eating heaps of blueberries lately. Might go the mix this time. Yeah, these are wild and organic, which is good. I do actually need some more sauerkraut. The one that I got, I don't really like it. And I know I like this one. I might get a kefir while I'm here as well. This is one of the only places got the goat's kefir. I'm gonna grab this raw milk. It's not technically raw. I usually go the bath milk, but don't tell anyone about that. They got some shiitake mushrooms here. I don't get all these things all the time, but when I'm here I do. Trying to get a variety of fruits and veggies. Always the rocket, of course. This is the best one you can get. It's organic as well. Dragon fruit, because you don't see these that often either. Special mention to carrot, zucchini, celery, pumpkin, all the fruits. Honestly, like I would usually get some of them, but just not today. Also special mention to pomegranate, one of the ultimate gut health foods. I might actually get some of this gluten-free precinct bread. I don't eat a lot of bread, but I like to have it on stock. And this one is crazy high in magnesium. I'm also big on these, but I've got some at home already. Also shout out to almond butter. I'm on a little bit of a cut right now, so I'm not gonna get some. Plenty of tea at home, plenty of coffee at home. We do need apple cider vinegar. Apparently not allowed to buy this one anymore. We also do need olive oil. There's actually heaps of options here. They're probably all good, like they're all pretty bougie. Sometimes I actually list the polyphenol content. I'm gonna look like a noob here. There's probably stuff to know about this stuff. I'm just gonna... Maple can get pretty expensive. Mince, probably need another one. Grab some osso buco as well. I'm gonna slow cook this for breakfast. All right, so here's what I've got. Let's start from the bottom with the absolute foundations and then build up to the bonuses. At the very base, it is meat. And I suppose protein as a whole. So we're gonna put the fish in this category as well. But they're for different purposes. So I got the osso buco, as you know. I really think this is just like the ultimate breakfast. Even if you don't want to eat meat for breakfast, this is still a great option because you've got the bone there. So when you're slow cooking it, it's releasing some of the amino acids into the water. You're basically making your own bone broth. And these amino acids are what help to repair the gut lining. They help to increase mucus production, they reduce leaky gut, and as a bonus, they're helping with your skin and your joint health too. I know that a lot of people find eating meat for breakfast weird, but I've been doing this for years now. I can't go back. If you are eating cereal for breakfast, what are you doing? It is one of the most simple and easy swaps you can make that is just going to have a huge impact on your energy, your satiety throughout the day. Along with the osso buco, I've just got beef mince. I've actually gone this one's 85-15, so 85% lean, 15% fat. Fat gives it more flavor. Obviously fat's not bad for you. It is saturated fat, which will increase your cholesterol, but that's another video. This is cheap. It's a very affordable way to get in red meat, which obviously red meat is a great source of iron. It's a great source of B vitamins. You've got creatine and carnitine in here. You're just getting so many nutrients along with the protein. These really do create the foundation of my diet. Most things are built around some sort of red meat. I have red meat every single day. I know that is controversial, but it just makes so much sense to me that red meat is going to be one of the best foods for us. And I do think the evidence is quite flawed around red meat being bad. Also, if you do have gut health symptoms, then a lot of the time you can't tolerate huge amounts of these grains and fibers, even vegetables, and meat is just a safe option. Number 2 is fatty fish. I've got mackerel and sardines here. I know you're gonna screw up your face at the sardines as well, but from a bang for your buck perspective, you can't beat sardines. These have crazy high amounts of omega-3, EPA, DHA. Is in a food-based matrix that is more beneficial for your brain health and your heart health than something like a fish oil supplement. This is far, far superior to fish oil. And not to mention, you're also getting protein from it as well. So you're actually eating food, which is gonna sustain you. I'm huge on mackerel too. It's got a very similar omega-3 profile, but it tastes a bit less fishy, a bit less, it tastes good in my opinion. Still an adjustment from tuna, but tuna just doesn't have this level of fat, which means it doesn't have this level of omega-3. So I'm trying to eat this as many days as I can, really. If I could eat it every day, I would, but I don't. I probably eat it 3 to 4 times a week. I don't supplement with fish oil anymore or cod liver oil. I'm not against them. A lot of clients we use it with, but really prefer to get it from whole food. All right, let's bang through a couple of others. So eggs, another one. So like I'm building it around protein. So these are all really good sources of protein, which is great for your body composition. Most people don't eat enough protein. This is just basic nutrition. I'm getting really good quality sources of protein. So I'm getting huge amounts of nutrients. I'm not just eating processed protein bars. I'm not against whey protein, but so many people are getting protein from just rubbish these days. Even chicken. Chicken's obviously a great whole food source of protein, but it doesn't have as many micronutrients, minerals, omega-3s obviously than some of these other things. So that's why I go with eggs as well. Amazing source of choline, which is really beneficial for brain function. Most people are also deficient in choline. And I do go for more expensive types of eggs. Like this has got a low hen per hectare. It's pasture raised. Can't really beat that. Whatever, like all eggs are pretty good. It's just kind of on a spectrum and these ones are better. Proteins out of the way. I guess you could include bone broth as a protein. It does contain amino acids that are kind of like the building blocks for protein, but it's not going to help with muscle gain. This is more of like a source of collagen forming amino acids, which is going to help around gut health as well. I would really say that's a bonus. Like if you're getting in the slow cooked meats, then you may not really need it, but it will definitely be a booster. You're getting more of those amino acids. I drink it in the morning on an empty stomach. I drink it in between meals if it's kind of an awkward time. I am a huge fan of it. Obviously, it does have high amounts of histamine. For some people, that can be an issue. But if you do have that problem, you need to obviously work on your gut health because that's one of the biggest drivers of that problem. Now, I could probably argue that if you had really poor gut health or you wanted the most simple diet of all time, you could just eat those and you would probably feel pretty good. You would probably have a reduction in your symptoms for a while, but it wouldn't be sustainable and long-term would be more of a problem. So I'm definitely not recommending that. So let's go through a couple others. So apple cider vinegar, this can help to support digestion. It helps to increase the acidity of the stomach. So having this around like heavy meals, it may even help with fat digestion because stomach acid helps to trigger the liver and gallbladder to release bile, which helps to break down fat. It even has some benefits around fat loss potentially. So many of our clients have come back and said that this has had a huge impact on their digestion. So even if the evidence isn't super strong, who cares? If it works, then it's a good reason to use it. Then we've got fermented foods. Obviously, it's a bit of an obvious one for a lot of people when it comes to gut health. You hear this talked about all the time. Now, fermented foods are not for everyone because they can be high histamine. If they have bacterial overgrowth, so probiotics can actually make symptoms worse. You do want to start slow and build up. Obviously, I'm at a good point where I can tolerate these really well. I've got some goat's kefir here, which is very lesser known, I suppose. Obviously, this is a very good quality source of probiotics. It's very high in probiotics. You only need a small amount. You can add this into smoothies. Goat's kefir, also the bacteria and some of the nutrients like vitamin A, and I believe it's the cysteine within goat's milk as well, can help with increasing iron levels and iron absorption. So for those who are anemic, this is a great option. This is probably my preferred fermented food. So many benefits to it, even around things like reflux, IBD, and then sauerkraut is another one. Kimchi is another one that's well known, but I just prefer sauerkraut personally. So I'll just have, honestly, like a teaspoon of this with a meal per day. That's it. Super simple. Couple other boosters we have here, shiitake mushrooms. These are like a prebiotic fiber. Really good for increasing your beneficial bacteria. They're high in beta glucan, which is pretty hard to get from your diet unless you're having these, or oats is actually a decent source as well. Rocket's another one that we'll add in just with the meal because it's a bitter food. It can help to stimulate bile release, which helps with digestion basically. For example, if I'm having, the fattier meat, I'll have the rocket on the side, helps with digestion. You could even put a bit of the apple cider vinegar on top of the rocket. Really good combination. I'll talk a couple of my favorite carbs. So a lot of the time people just think maple syrup, honey, these are just going to be sugar. They are high in sugar, but because of the minerals, they got trace amounts of minerals. You don't have a heap of this. I'm not going to be drinking this from the bottle. It's too expensive to do that anyway, but they can be really easy to digest types of carbs for people who, especially if they might have bacterial overgrowth, if you can't tolerate fiber and prebiotics and grains and stuff like that. So I'm a huge fan of maple syrup, but honestly, probably 90% of my sugars comes from honey. Honey is it's polyphenol rich. It's kind of like a eubiotic. So there's studies where it's been shown to reduce pathogenic bacteria and increase beneficial bacteria. It's even got antifungal properties, so it may help with candida overgrowth. So it's a really good all-rounder. I love it. It may even improve blood sugar management and insulin sensitivity. And then we've got some fruits. This week I've gone some wild berries. I usually go frozen berries just because they're cheaper and they're more practical. These ones are amazing. These are wild organic berries. So basically they're smaller berries, which means there's more surface area of the berry, which means they're going to be higher in antioxidants and polyphenols. Berries have all kinds of benefits. I'm a huge fan of blueberries. They're probably my favorite, but getting a mixture can be, you're getting the benefits of all of them, I guess. And then dragon fruit's underrated. This is a low fructose fruit, so it means it's low FODMAP, but then it's also very, very high in vitamin C. It's one of the highest vitamin C fruits. it's a bit unknown. Honestly, you can't really go wrong with most fruits as long as you tolerate them. Obviously, it's within reason from a caloric carbohydrate perspective. All right, last but not least, olive oil. Olive oil, polyphenol rich, great source of healthy fats. If I had to say there was one best fat for gut health, it's going to be olive oil. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, you don't really want to cook with it too much because it can oxidize. That's where I'd go for a tallow or a ghee. And then I've got a bread here. So a lot of people love their bread. Bread's just not going to be the greatest for gut health for most people. There's not that many good options, but this bread's very interesting. It uses a sprouted flour. It's organic besan flour, I believe, is what it gets the magnesium from. So two slices of this bread has 381 milligrams of magnesium. So that's, most magnesium capsules are 100 milligrams. So 2 slices is 4 capsules of magnesium supplement. So not everyone will be able to tolerate this, but this can be probably the best way of increasing your magnesium intake from your diet. If you can't get this, because it's Australia only, it's not that common, things like cacao, things like almonds and almond butter are also good sources of magnesium, but I still supplement magnesium as well. That's a bit of a wrap up of some of the staple foods that I'll have on a day-to-day week. Does that even make sense? On a weekly basis. If you don't have access to these particular products or brands, that's not really the point of this video. It's just to help educate you and show you, take you through a bit of my thinking. I honestly think when you're optimizing your health and especially your gut health, you can make any kind of food that you want. You can literally make the diet that you had previously, but just a healthier version. Every time you eat, you're either having the opportunity to repair your gut, to improve your health, or take away from it. Using these foods, creating out some of the processed foods, getting in nutrients, just being consistent with it is an amazing starting point. Really, it becomes super easy after a while. It just becomes second nature. So hopefully that helped give you a bit of insight, but let me know in the comments if you have any questions and I'll help you out. See you soon.